Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video here today for round 4 of the RTA Virtual Motorsport LMP2 Cup, this time from the iconic Le Mans circuit. In the background now you can see that we are in qualifying, and since there's such a long lap I'm going to talk about the last race while we start this qualifying. See here the standings after Spa. Unfortunately not the best round for us, a lot of little incidents that had a big impact, and some of them are fault, some of them not, but it does mean that we have dropped 3 places out of the top 15 down into 18th with 69 points. Not too far from the cars ahead, and cars behind aren't too far behind me either, so a good round here today could see us jump up the standings a bit, and that is what we will be aiming for. For this one then, a bit of a strange one. For those that don't know, this race takes place on Tuesdays, and then on the Monday before we have a practice session. And on the Monday we had what we were used to with the cars, how they handled the tyres, all that, etc. And then between Monday and Tuesday, iRacing did a big update for the new season 1 of 2025, and it changed these cars very much so that now they understeer a lot, and iRacing have brought in the new gravel physics, so a lot more gravel around the track when cars run off and dragging it back onto the racing line. But yeah, and usually these races are run with the baseline setup, but with the new baseline setup from the update, the cars were maxing out, reaching the end of 6th gear way too early on the Mulsanne straight, so running a bit of a modified setup for this one as well. Yeah, taken a lot to get used to with how understeery the car was compared to what we were all used to for the opening 3 rounds of the season. And in the Discord, while we were practicing before this race, there was a lot of complaining about how they've ruined the car, and to be honest, especially around this track, I can't help but agree with that sentiment. I feel like it was definitely a lot more fun to drive before the update. But it's the same for everyone, unfortunately, and we'll all just have to get on with it and deal with it. And eventually we'll get used to it. But more so on the first lap of the race, on the outlaps, the tyre coolers, or the tyre warmers rather, have been modified, so the tyres are a lot colder straight out of the box, and it makes for an interesting opening a few corners when you come out of the pits. So that'll be something to look out for on the opening lap of these races. But before that now, we're coming towards the end of our qualifying lap, heading up towards the Porsche curves now. You can see there ahead, Brandon McLaughlin and Jamal made a bit of a mistake there, so a bit of a distraction, but can't really make too much of a gap despite how long the track is, because you need the time to get in the laps. But through the Porsche curves here now, this is where the new update made the biggest difference, through the high speed corners. We're able to carry a lot more speed in practice the night before than we are now, and you can see here the car just understeers, and luckily we don't get an off track there, managed to just get out of throttling enough, but losing a lot of time as now we head down for the final few turns, the 4 chicanes, sending it over the curbs, and then just taking it nice and easy over the second last and the last turn, and trying to get a good exit down to the line. Going to come across and set a 3-minute 41.8, puts us in P9 for now. Did go for another lap, and this is straight after that. Jamal making a bit of a mistake, distracting a small bit, and unfortunately we just run out too far through the double up chicane and get a penalty, and that was our qualifying over. So we only had time for 2 laps anyway, so not missing out on a whole lot, but we finished in 13th out of the 19 that did set a lap time. About 4.3 seconds off Ronan Doherty on pole position, and it's very close up at the front, but a lot of time to try and find to be up there with the fast guys in this league. So hopefully our race pace might be a little bit better, and maybe we can move up a few positions. So even before we get started here, it's already starting to kick off with Aaron Dalton spinning out, I presume, weaving a bit too much, trying to get some temperature into the tyres, so kind of stuck there for a couple of seconds, but eventually we get back into position and coming through the final turn now. Get going here in Le Mans, the plane's flying overhead, and on the exit of the final turn with the inside line, just didn't really know where to go, hopped over the curb, and Bobby Joe in the black car ahead of us kind of did the same thing, so we get jumped by Dermot Toomey there as now into the first turn. Like I said, in qualifying, cold tyres on this opening lap, there's a lot of cars running wide there. We managed to keep it on the road and gain a couple of positions there. I think we're up into P11 now on this opening lap in the first couple of turns. But behind we have Jason Smith, who is very quick and just had a poor qualifying, I think. Now on the run into Turt Rouge, she's right up behind us. Now you run a bit too wide there, getting off track and a slowdown. And I think Jason is going to get us here. But I did notice that in qualifying and in practice that off tracks you can kind of just ignore them for the most part and they will take care of themselves as you run down the Mulsanne straight into the first of the two chicanes now. Jason behind, pulling to the right hand side. I'm going to brake a bit earlier, let him take the position because I don't want to lose too much time and I know that he is quicker than me and I help get rid of that penalty. So we gained a couple of positions in the open, a few turns. We've lost one now and now just try and keep our head down and see if Jason can pull us along up the field and try and gain a few more. We fast forward ahead just down the road a bit to the second chicane, and through these turns, car spinning out ahead of us. Luckily the spin to the outside, that was Finley Melvin, so they don't block the track and we managed to get through nicely. And Jason got a bit compromised because of that, so we managed to gain a bit on him and we're right in the slipstream now. And could have probably thought about having a move, but I let him pass a few corners ago, so I'm not going to try and get past him now. Give him a little bit of a bump draft down into Mulsanne, the tight turn at the end of the Mulsanne straight. Just trying to hold position now, and like we did before, that little incident at the chicane, just keep the head down and try and follow Jason through. At the start of lap 2 now, through the Dunlop curve into the Dunlop chicane, car off there on the outside, that was Rory O'Shea, so one of the quick drivers in this league. We crossed the line in P11 at the end of lap 1, so we gained 2 positions and we've gained another up into the top 10 now at the start of lap 2. Just kept going down on lap 2 and now through Indianapolis and into Arnage. Up ahead, Jason and CJ have a little bit of a coming together and CJ ends up spinning to the inside, so we managed to gain yet another place now and up into P9. But as we start the third and final lap through the Dunlop chicane, I get a really bad run there, and Rory O'Shea, who had an issue on lap 1, has caught with me and reeled me in, and now through the S's, just the outside line, more grit, more confidence, and just more speed. He managed to make the move there. A very good move by Rory to get up into P9 and to move us down into P10 on this last lap. But there's a lot more drama to come in this first heat race. It's into the Porsche cars now. You can see up ahead Rory and Sean McClemens going side by side. They're still side by side through all these turns, but they make contact. Rory goes spinning, hits off the barrier. I don't really know where he's going to go. I slowed down, tried to avoid him, but just the way his car was moving, there was no way of knowing where he was going to go. So we gained a position on him there, but we've lost 3 now with a damaged car. Not able to turn left, as you can see, but luckily we're at the end of the lap, so we're going to be able to limp it home, hopefully through the final 2 chicanes now. Turning right is fine, a lot of damage to the left, so we're not able to really turn left. Out of the final turn, we were on to finish P10, P9 then after Rory had a spin, but unfortunately getting caught up in that means we are going to finish in P12. So 1 position gain it was then, up into P12, about 25 seconds off the winner of Jordan Kelly. A lot of that probably because of the incident on the last lap, but gave me a bit of confidence that first race that if I just keep it clean, other people seem to be having a lot of issues, so just keep it on the road and we could make up a few more places in these following 2 races. So setting off from P12 for this second race, on the outside of the final turn this time compared to the inside for race 1. And we go green and get a much better start than we did last time. I think we might be after making up a position or 2, not too sure. Getting a jump there at the final turn. And now into the first turn, taking it nice and easy. We saw how much trouble some people had in the first race. I can see there, just braking early, trying to get a good exit. We get a really good run. Somebody off there on the left hand side, I'm not too sure who that was, as now we're side by side with David Prunty on the run down into the S's. He runs a bit wide on the outside line, and as he comes back on, he drives into us, and luckily we managed to keep it out of the wall, but we run off track and we lose a couple of positions there. Not entirely sure how many we lost. Yeah, I think when you're on the outside line there and you're running off, you need to be a bit more careful when rejoining. I feel like I definitely left enough room for him to rejoin safely. He just wanted to carry a bit more speed than he should have been able to, but that's the way it goes, unfortunately. Is now we just have to keep going as we run down into the first chicane on the Mulsanne straight. Closing up nicely with the concertina effect into the heavy braking zone, but nobody having any issues on this occasion. But the same can't be said as we run into the Mulsanne turn, and unfortunately it's going to be me that's having a few issues. Just carrying a bit too much speed for the grip that the tyres have. They're after cooling down after a run along the two long straights, and luckily everybody managed to avoid us, but have to wait now for everybody to get past, as they do. We're all the way down in, I think it's P24, last position in this race, and you can see there how disappointed I am with that. Just my own mistake, just carrying too much speed for what the car could handle. Yeah, unfortunate, but now I just want to try and pick up as many positions we can. Pick up as many positions as we can for the rest of this race from other people's issues and get a better starting position for P3. As we run onto the Mulsanne straight then on lap 2, we've managed to catch up with Dermot Clooney ahead. Unfortunately, we run a bit too wide through Kurt Rouge and get a slow down penalty. We're in the slipstream here of Dermot, so like in race 1, we know that the penalties can kind of take care of themselves. So we're with the slipstream, pulling to the right hand side as we run into the first chicane, and we managed to get the move done on David with the inside line. He has a bit of issues under braking, but unfortunately with the extra speed from the slipstream, that penalty hasn't took care of itself like it did in race 1, and now we're trying to get rid of it without losing too much time. But unfortunately, we don't manage to do it. We get a black flag and have sort of a stop-go penalty. So that plan of trying to gain positions for a better starting position in race 3 has really gone down the drain now. At the end of that lap then, we're going to come into the pits to serve that penalty and have a spin on pit entry just to rub salt in the wounds, and after that I just kind of rage quit and retired to the pits. So P25 and last it was then, losing 13 positions from what was a pretty good starting position. And yeah, this round is going to be a round to forget, I think, and from last place in the final race. 20 minutes, so a bit of time to try and make up a few positions, but I don't think we can try and hope for too much for this final race. So for the final time here in Le Mans, we go green, and from the back of the grid it goes green a lot quicker, but we get a really good jump, and with the inside line, I think that lane was a bit more awares of the start, and we've already gained 3 positions before we run into turn 1. Side by side now with Dermot, he backs out through the Dunlop turn and then into the Dunlop chicane. There's 2 cars off the track there, another one rejoining. We managed to get a lovely switch back on 2 cars there. We're now side by side with Tony Stack down through the S's. With the inside line we managed to get the move done, and now taking it nice and easy through this tricky left-hander, and we managed to get through it a lot cleaner than we did in the previous race. But yeah, very good start there, again a good few positions, and now we get a good run through Kurt Rouge on the run down the Mulsanne straight. Tucked into the slipstream of Endafara now, we pull to the right hand side. I remember thinking at this time, just hoping somebody would pull to the right to get me the slipstream so we can get this move done down into the first chicane. But unfortunately, this is where the title comes into play, and this was my biggest mistake in league racing. Just not really taking into consideration how early everybody was going to be braking, and we run into the back of, I think that was Aaron Dalton. Yeah, not my greatest moment, definitely my worst moment in league racing. Just a huge mistake there. thinking too much about getting the slipstream and getting the moves done and forgetting about my braking point. Yeah, totally my fault for that. I did end up getting a 15-point penalty, which is more than fair. Hold my hands up, that wasn't anything anyone else could have done to avoid that except myself. So unfortunately, because of that and the damage to the car, how far we are behind the car's head, and out of embarrassment, I did retire from this race. So looking at a replay here now, I think I was too focused on making sure I was clear of Enda before pulling to the left hand side. I think the cars ahead might have broke a little bit early, but not a whole lot to be of any way in blame for this incident. And as the car behind me, it's my duty of care to react to the cars ahead anyway. So with incidents like that, I'm more disappointed for the cars that I affected for my mistake than myself. So I can only apologise to Aaron and whoever else, and can't remember who it was, that got caught up in that incident. So P25 and last it was then. So we finished where we started. So in a way, it wasn't our worst race of this round, but obviously that crash kind of takes precedent over positions gained or positions lost. Jason Smith won that race, and if you remember, he started behind us in race one, so it just shows how much speed he had, that throughout the couple of races he was able to make his way from near the back up towards the front. And then in the championship, as I said, I got a penalty for that crash, so minus 15 points, and we moved down another couple of positions into 21st in the standings. And before this round, we had 69 points. After this one, we had 66. So yeah, it would have been better if I just didn't race at all for this round and just took a week off and came back for Silverstone in the next race. It is what it is, and hopefully in the next round, which is Silverstone, as I said, we can try and do a bit better. But that's it for this episode. But that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, and if you're not already, make sure you subscribe before you go. But until next time, thanks for watching. See you then.